Hello, this is Mrs. Roop. I'm back to continue reading Ungifted by Gordon Korman. We left off, we are ready to read page 200, and this is a cheating investigation interview with Chloe Garfinkel. This interview is between Mrs. Bevilacqua and Chloe. I'm going to call her Mrs. B. Mrs. B, I've noticed that you and Donovan are pretty good friends. Chloe, I guess. It would bother you if he had to leave the academy, wouldn't it? Why would he have to leave? You have a brilliant mind, Chloe. You must have noticed that Donovan doesn't share your academic abilities. He's good at a lot of things I'm not. You know as well as I do that operating a video game joystick doesn't compare to the kinds of strengths we value here. Well, maybe, but he passed the test. Did he? You'd know better than I would. The scores were reported to the school, not to me. We're beginning to suspect that someone helped Donovan. Was it you, Chloe? How could I possibly? You mean a hacker? That would be hard. You'd have to override the encryption of a secure internet connection from the state. Exactly. I see you know how it's done. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'd do it. Not for my own mother. But for your boyfriend? Donovan is not my boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. Calm down. No one is making any accusations yet. Honestly, Ms. Bevilacqua, we knew Donovan was in trouble with the test. We offered to help him study, but he just couldn't. It didn't work out. Define we. You and who else? Are you asking me to rat out my friends? The next chapter is written from the perspective of Donovan Curtis himself, IQ 112, and the chapter is titled Unwelcome. I was pretty good at video games, but never had I felt more comfortable with the joystick in my hand than when I was driving Tin Man. The robot was like an extension of my will, the slightest twitch of my finger, and he was instantly obedient to the controller. It was as if my every thought could make him dance. For once, we weren't in the lab. With the state robotics meet barely a week away, it was time to simulate competition conditions. The team had spent all morning converting the gym into a perfect copy of the Duchess Auditorium where the tournament would take place. Tin Man moved back and forth, accepting inflated rings from Abigail and placing them on the pegs we had attached to the gym's climbing apparatus. We'd even set up the pit, which would serve as our headquarters at the meet. It supplied everything from tools and spare parts for Tin Man to a cooler of Eucalade, a high-energy drink that, according to Noah, hydrated faster than Gatorade. Most of the team was gathered around Oz, their eyes panning back and forth from the robot to the teacher's stopwatch. They let out an audible groan when I raised one of the rings too high and had to stop the robot to lower the mechanism down to the peg. That cost us time for sure. Easy, Donovan, the teacher cautioned. Remember, you've got a stronger motor in the forklift. At last, Tin Man placed the final ring, swung around, and headed for the starting position. The stopwatch beeped, and Oz called out our time. Best we've ever done, people, even with a few hiccups. This is going to be our year, Luttrell crowed. We broke out the Eucalade and toasted Tin Man and one another. Chloe had brought brownies. So it was kind of a party. It actually reached the point of some good-natured trash talk directed toward Cold Springs Harbor and how Tin Man was going to leave their robot lying in the dust. Of course, our team members were too polite for real trash talk, so I had to show them how it was done. Their hunk of junk doesn't stand a chance against Tin Man. Their hunk of junk wouldn't stand a chance against Tin Man's grandmother. Tin Man can't have a grandmother, Noah interjected. A machine is not a living entity and has no familial line. Probably why I never ran into any robots on Ancestry.com. Excuse me. We get the point, Oz put it, grinning. Let's keep it to ourselves. It's a little premature for a victory celebration. There's no way Cold Spring Harbor can match the kind of times we're putting up, Kevin enthused. Not unless they're running their robot on rocket fuel. I'd never been much of a joiner, so this was my first taste of how it felt to be a part of a team that was a real contender, and not just a part. With the robot completed, I was more important than any of them. All those geniuses and the one person who could make Tin Man perform at a championship level was the dummy who got stranded in the gifted program by mistake. I didn't have a clue how to design, build, or program a robot, but it was up to me to bring home the gold. For the first time since I'd landed at the academy, I truly belonged. The heavy metal gym door was thrown open with such violence that it pounded against the cinder block wall. There, framed in the light from outside, was nothing less than an avenging angel. Dr. Schultz. I swear he crossed the gym in 3 gigantic strides, shooting sparks from his eyes. I considered running, but what for? Even if I could manage to escape, where did I think I could go? I was completely and totally busted. Dr. Schultz, what a surprise, said Oz. You're just in time to see us put Tin Man through his paces. That will have to happen at some other time. The superintendent's voice was colder than his expression, if possible. The eyes fell on me. Donovan Curtis, your parents are on their way. Chloe was the first to clue in on the gravity of what was going on. Donovan might not be gifted in the same way as the rest of us, but he's the heart and soul of our team. He's the heart and soul of our class. Dr. Schultz regarded her sternly. Donovan's problems go far beyond trying to be what he's not. I followed him out of the gym while the squawking and protesting of my teammates rang off the rafters. He drives the robot. We're dead without him. He is so gifted. He brought us Katie. He showed me YouTube. He's one of us. Their support would have made me feel good if I hadn't been on my way to the end of the world. I think this is a pretty good place to stop. So tune in next time and we'll find out what happens to Donovan. Thanks, guys. I hope you're enjoying the book. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.